Co-founders and I have been fighting lately. Any tips to get through it? Times are tough. This is a common thing when things get rough. Only real thought here is 1, have actual real business objectives that you can discuss. Number 2, understand how you're going to discuss those things and who's doing which one of the variety of details around it. 3, I would step outside the building and have a how we're going to fight discussion. This is an incredibly useful thing that I've done in the past with all of my bosses, and I always adhere to it, and I found that it was a really good thing. Like, if we're going to disagree or we're going to fight, this is how we're going to do it. And you got to find a way to respectfully do it. The fight is never the issue. It's the method in which you fight is it becomes the actual issue. If all fights become personal, you always, you should, it's dysfunctional fighting. Some people will say, well, I'm just giving you raw feedback. Well, no, you're giving me shitty raw feedback because you're making it about me, not about the thing. And I'm making it too personal because I'm interpreting it to be about me and not about the thing. There's that old quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, which is like, small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, great minds talk about ideas. What should the ratio of product managers, designers, and engineers be? Super nuanced topic. Overall, here's what I'm gonna say. Engineers and designers should be on the higher end of a spectrum, product managers on the lower end of the spectrum. So if I see 1 product manager to 2 designers to 8 engineers, I'm actually happy. I don't have a strong ratio in my mind, but what I'm telling you is product managers on the lower end of the spectrum, designers on the middle end of the spectrum, and engineers on the higher end of the spectrum. Why would that be? You want more people producing more things, and it's not the number of product folks writing docs or even having ideas. It's the number of people implementing all of the ideas in a timely manner. And so the ratio is skewed wrong if you have too many product people who are producing all these ideas or activities and not enough people actually implementing them. So the classic over adjustment for Silicon Valley is having too many product folks, too few designers, and just enough engineers. All right, the head of product is really simple for me. Heads of anything are high leverage positions. You got to be very thoughtful about who you bring in here. They're going to make or break your company, and I tend to think that you can only hire 2 types for heads of. One is someone who's basically going to maintain your current course and speed, and the other one's going to be the entire curve bender. They're going to change the trajectory of your company. Now, obviously, your goal is to hire curve benders, but not every position can be filled with those types of people. On product people, there's a couple of things that you need to look for. One is they have to be generally a very quick, agile thinker with an extreme bias to action. They can't be the ivory tower contemplators. If they do, your entire organization will slow down and grind to a halt. Second, you've got to have someone who can think very long-term strategically, but tie it back to the next steps. If they're the grand vision person who has no rooting in the moment, again, you're going to be heading down a road towards failure. 3, the best product people that I have found from experience are very design oriented, probably a lot more visual, and they really like to touch and feel their own product on a regular basis. So they're not going to want to write a doc, and they're not going to want to wait 3 months to see it. They're going to want to say something. They're going to want to see a prototype for it in a couple of days. And literally, as a general rule, do not hire from big tech, particularly for product people.